Hello everyone, welcome to Omoshiroi Recap. Today, I am going to recap the anime name Engage Kiss, the story of the strongest demon hunter in the city of Baryon named Ogata Shuu. In the city where he lives, there is a very rare source of organium energy, but this attracts the attention of demons. However, the people there have a luxurious and comfortable lifestyle. In reality, there is a figure the demon lurks there, so there is work for demons hunter. There are even many demon hunter organizations there. While Shuu, who has left the organization, is having trouble getting a job, knowing that his ex-girlfriend is named Yujiri Ayano. She always gives free food and pays all the bills at Shuu's house. You could be sure that Ayano still likes Shuu. Then Ayano gives the task to Shuu to hunt down the demons causing havoc in the city. Shuu accepted it and immediately went home to prepare himself. While at home, there is a girl named Kisara, a demon partner. She always wants to help Shuu by doing housework and providing special services at night. But Kisara gets jealous when Shuu is with another woman. After that, Shuu attended a meeting to work against demons with the leaders of other organizations. There is also a former boss or the mother of Ayano named Yugiri Akina. They discussed the Level D disaster mission, which was to exterminate the demon humans that were raging in the casino. The leaders of the organizations made offers to each other in handling the mission. While others were charging over $100,000, Shuu only charged $40,000. So the Shuu organization was chosen to exterminate the demon human, because Shuu damaged the market price. Of course, he became hated by others. Then before the mission begins, Ayano and her troops will also help Shuu. They also share the task of defeating the demon, where Ayano will divert attention so that Shuu can attack the weak point. However, the demon was very strong and Shuu was almost been killed if Kisara didn't save him. But Kisara needs something to use the demon power. It turns out that Kisara needs a kiss from Shuu to awaken her power. After gaining much power, Kisara and Ayano killed all the monsters there. Even though there was a fight between them, Shuu could stop them and persuade Kisara to focus on fighting the demons. So in the end, they managed to defeat the demon with the strongest attack from Shuu. The next day, Kisara went to where Shuu was sleeping and took a group photo while Shuu was sleeping. After that, Kisara prepared food while also discussing the demon mastermind before. It turns out that Kisara can take and see someone's memories with her powers. Then they discussed their critical finances and had difficulty eating within a week. Therefore, Shuu met Ayano, who was exercising, but instead, Shuu failed to focus on seeing something rocking. Then Shuu wants to find additional work from Ayano wants to help him. But Ayano gets annoyed when he sees Kisara posting a photo of him sleeping before. On the other hand, the deputy mayor of Baryon named Shenfa and Linfa discussed the party being held that night, where there is information that someone intends to kill the mayor. Knowing that, they asked Akino's organization to arrange security. Then Shuu and Kisara would look after the place and be paid for by Akino. Kisara, who saw free food, wanted to wrap it up because there was no food at home. When Shuu meets a man named Miles, they casually smoke there and didn't realize that a demon was listening to their conversation. Then the mayor gave a speech telling all the party guests that the town was peaceful even though they didn't know a demon lived there. Then a demon appeared that wanted to kill the mayor. But Kisara immediately caught him and got him out of there. So there was a fight between them. Although they managed to corner demons, Shuu had no weapon to catch him alive. So Shuu spent money to buy weapons through Baryon City fast delivery. When Demon wanted to run from there, suddenly he was hit by a parcel delivery truck. In the end, Shuu just wasted money to buy weapons.
必要なくなったかもしんない。
Then Shuu dreamt about his family being slaughtered, while his younger sister was stabbed by a demonic weapon and disappeared somewhere. On the other hand, a worker in a factory is being chased by the police. Just as he was cornered, he contracted with someone over the phone. So there was an explosion there, and the electricity went out throughout the city. Then Shuu got a letter from someone about the incident. Shuu immediately met Ayano in a park and showed him a photo of the giant devil's presence in the electricity factory. Ayano immediately reported it to her mother to create an army. It turned out that the devil had sucked the reserves of electrical energy into his body, so they had to catch him and not kill him. As a result, Akina was going to take over the mission, and they quickly surrounded the place with many troops. When they tried to freeze him and wanted to seize the core inside his body, suddenly, the demon metamorphosed into a very powerful butterfly. Of course, ordinary weapons couldn't defeat it. As a result, the strongest demon hunter, Shuu, started the attack. To defeat the demon, Kisara needed stronger strength. It turns out that all this time, Shuu has always sacrificed his memories by kissing Kisara so that those memories can be converted into Kisara's demonic power. After that, Kisara chopped the demon into pieces while Shuu launched sniper fire with special bullets. In the end, 2 shots from Shuu managed to defeat the demon. Then shown the memory that Shuu gave to Kisara, it turns out that it was Shuu's memory when he was still dating Ayano. A few days later, Ayano and his troops had a shootout with the criminals, and when they managed to hinder them, Ayano felt that he knew one of them. His name is Tony. Then Ayano met Linfa at a fancy restaurant and asked her to investigate that person. On the other hand, they usually live a difficult life with a difficult economy. The next day, the mayor's son named Mikhail suddenly wanted to pick up Kisara to go to school together. They immediately walked away from there when he was talking to himself. Then Kisara saw Ayano with a man, and Kisara thought they wanted to stop by the Love Hotel. Even though they were investigating and the man was a police anti-demon detective named Tetsuya Mikami. Ayano asked him to investigate Tony because Tony was involved with the mafia and was working with a demon.
なんで俺に一言も言わずに勝手に調べてるの？家族を殺した悪魔のことを追ってるって知ってたのに。
それは。
独占中ですかね、彼。
うるさいです。
As they were talking to each other, Mikami suddenly received a call that Tony had been killed. The police confirmed that the killer was a member of the Viper Mafia. Meanwhile, Shuu and Ayano are looking for information, but on the way, they argue because Ayano gets annoyed when Shuu always forgets the memories with her. It's only natural because Ayano doesn't know that Shuu has sacrificed his memory to gain demonic powers. Then Kisara met Ayano. Kisara explains everything about Shuu sacrificing his memory, including Shuu's goal of wanting to find the demon that slaughtered his family. Thanks to that explanation, Ayano understood Shuu's condition.
体も頭もボロボロになった廃人同然の男と一緒にいるのが幸せなの？シュウ君の最後の女になれるなら。
When Shuu was smoking somewhere, suddenly an arrow came towards him. On the arrow was information about the whereabouts of the devils that had appeared at Viper's headquarters. Knowing this, Shuu uses a bicycle to break into the Viper headquarters. There, Shuu faces a demoness named Maria, or Tony's girlfriend, but Maria enters the mirror to escape from there. However, they managed to track her down, and she went to Ayano's place. Then Ayano, who was alone, was suddenly attacked by Maria, but Kisara saved her immediately. However, Maria managed to escape through a mirror. At the same time, Kisara got stuck when she wanted to chase her. After all that, Ayano was taken to a safe place without a mirror because there was a possibility that Maria was targeting Ayano. Meanwhile, Mikami gives free food to Shuu in return for their exchange of information. Then Mikami discussed the incident 12 years ago, to be precise, the death of the Shuu family. Previously, they headed to Baryon City's organium energy mine, but suddenly there was an explosion that killed everyone there. The police confirmed that the mastermind behind the explosion was demon, but until now still have not found the whereabouts of these demons. However, the media branded Shu's father as having collaborated with the demon because he was the one who led to the mine.
顔の見える私と手を組みませんか。信じてくれるんですか。あなたのご両親の真実に決着をつけましょう。
After all that, Shuu heads to Ayano's place to protect her if Maria appears there. In the end, they were alone there, and then Ayano suddenly kissed him while taking off all his clothes. Finally, Fayano gave her entire body to him. After that, Maria appeared through the rain reflection, but they were ready to fight her. Then Kisara kissed him forcefully and sucked Shu's memory. So Kisara has taken over the last memories, and Shuu has forgotten the beauty of Ayano's body. But they managed to defeat Maria together. After that, Ayano was not sad when Kisara snatched Shu's memory. Even Ayano intended to tease Shuu later.
私の願い通りあの時の記憶をシュウから奪った私の匂いを
Then Ayano stopped by Shu's place, at the same time wanting to clean up Shu's messy place. So Ayano looks like a newly married wife. On the other hand, Kisara was sad after seeing Shuu and Ayano making out. Kisara then remembered her first meeting with him. Previously, Shuu let go of the sword and stabbed it into Kisara's body. After releasing it, Kisara was free from the seal and attacked Shuu there. But Shuu could calm him down and even made a demon contract with Kisara. On the other side was a nun named Holy Grail Sharon, who beat members of the Demon Slayer organization like a child. It turned out that his arrival was to find Kaisara's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Shuu meets a mysterious person who always gives information to Shuu. Then he gives information about Sharon, who is from the Starry Sky Guild, and asks Shuu to be careful of Sharon because the Starry Sky Guild is the biggest group of exorcists or demon hunters in the world. Then Sharon met Akino at her place. Sharon forced Akino to tell Kaisara's whereabouts. However, Ayano soon came to fight Sharon there. But Sharon manages to snatch Ayano's phone, so Sharon can find out where Shuu is with Kisara through the phone. Sharon headed to where Kisara was, but she ran into Shuu instead. Sharon asks him about their happy memories, but the memories of Sharon have been taken away by Kisara, because Shuu forgot their memories. As a result, Sharon beat him unconscious, even though Kisara, along with Ayano, came to stop Sharon. But Sharon soon left from there. After that, Shuu was hospitalized after being beaten up by Sharon, and then Kaisara told about their meeting 3 years ago. Shuu frees Kisara from the demon sword seal and is assisted by Sharon to calm Kisara. After knowing Sharon wanted to kill Kaisara, Shuu immediately took Kaisara away from Sharon. During a blizzard, Shuu tries to sleep with Sharon, but he plans to insert poison through Sharon's genitals, which makes Sharon's body unable to move, and Shuu and Kisara can escape safely. At the same time, Shuu tried to listen to their conversation secretly. As a result, Shuu understood the situation that occurred. On the other hand, Sharon was picking up a package from a ship, and there was a battlesuit made of demon meat. Sharon wanted to use that thing to fight Kisara later. The next day, Sharon asked Kisara to meet her somewhere so she could finish the fight there.
悪魔退治よ、キサラ。
But at the last moment, Shuu gave Sharon a surprise attack. So that he can bring Kisara to a safe place, Shuu almost sacrifices all of his memory to strengthen Kisara's demonic power. Kisara was at full power, which made it difficult for Sharon to the point where she ran out of ways to fight Kisara. As a result, Sharon was badly beaten by Kisara. After all that, Mikami caught Sharon, whose clothes had been destroyed. Then Sharon was interrogated by Mikami in prison. Sharon explained that a stronger demon would appear in the city of Baryon. Of course, Sharon's arrival is to stop the demon. After that, Mikami gathered with the others to find a mastermind who manipulated humans and turned them into demons to wreak havoc in the city. After thinking hard and suspecting several parties, even the superiors, they still couldn't find any evidence. Then Shuu met Sharon, who was detained. Sharon explained that the figure they were looking for was only Asmodeus' doll. Asmodeus even handled the demon disaster in the city. Sharon also gave information on how to find Asmodeus. On the other hand, Mikami, thinking hard, succeeded in deducing the mastermind's identity behind it all, but when he wanted to talk to Shuu by phone, suddenly he was shot to death by someone. Shuu, who knew about it, immediately headed there. There was the figure of the previous informant. It turned out he was Mikhail, who served as the national police chief. Previously, Mikhail only pretended to be weak when he was very genius and even controlled the city behind the scenes. Then they headed to Mikhail's base, where Mikhail was watching the entire city with a camera, including his older sister, who was taking a bath there. Then Mikhail shows a video where someone in a jacket kills Mikami. After conducting a thorough inspection with CCTV cameras, in the end, Shuu found out who was the mastermind behind Mikami's murder.
私が常に情報を共有している人が相棒あなたです。尾形さんの父親の事件にも関与していたのですね。
After Mikami's funeral, Shuu meets the mastermind behind it all. Unexpectedly, the mastermind is Miles, who is their partner. Then Akino and his troops raced for Miles because Akino won the mission bid for $1. Of course, Mikhail was furious when Akino only used $1 to beat Miles, even though Miles had been labeled a level of disaster. Akino did that because he knew Mikhail did not want to bring Shuu and Miles together. Mikhail was afraid that Miles would tell Shuu the truth. It turned out that Mikhail already knew the whereabouts of the Shuu family, but kept it a secret from Shuu. After all his secrets were exposed, of course, it frustrated Mikhail. Not only that, Sharon managed to escape from prison and headed straight to the Shuu place. Then Shuu feels reluctant to fight Miles because Miles had taken care of Shuu before when Shuu lost his family. After finishing talking, Miles transformed into a demon and, at the same time, slaughtered Ayano's troops there. While Shuu decides to sacrifice all his memories of Miles, the risk is that Shuu might lose his identity. In the end, Kaisara's demonic power becomes very strong against Miles, while Shuu, who has regained consciousness, helps Kaisara. As a result, Miles is defeated after being hit by an attack from Shuu.
くたばれ悪魔め!
ごめんな、シュウ。
It then shows Miles' past with his Shuu family, where they challenged demons together until their relationship was like a big family. However, since his son was critical, Miles received an offer from Asmodeus, who would heal his son as long as Miles obeyed his order. It turns out that while in the Organium mine, the real Asmodeus was Shu's mother named Sayuri. She takes Shu's sister to another place, while Miles takes care of Shuu according to orders. Knowing that he had been betrayed by his wife, his father Shuu blew up the place until nothing was left of it. But Shuu survived because Miles' demonic power protected him. However, only Kaizare knows all those memories. Of course, Kaisara will find it difficult to explain the truth that Shu's mother is Asmodeus. So for now, Shuu doesn't know anything about the truth. The next day, They gathered together somewhere. Shuu has lost his identity and knows almost nothing since the previous battle, and Kisara told all the memories she saw from Miles' memories. Asmodeus kidnaps Shu's sister, named Kanna, but Kisara hides the fact that Shu's mother is Asmodeus. Asmodeus' goal is to make Kanna prove that humans can live together with demons and make Kanna the entrance between the two worlds to create a harmonious life between humans and demons. Knowing this, they immediately looked for Kanna's whereabouts, where Kanna was at the high bustling mine. However, Mikhail had withheld information on the whereabouts of the mine from the others. So Ayano tried to pick up Linfa and ask Linfa to tell her the location of the high Bursley mine. Then the organization suddenly attacked them in the middle of the trip.
裏切ったわね、リンファ。どう見ても私ごと狙われてんだろう。
諦めろ、綾野。わしらは政府の命令で来ておるのだ。
It turned out that Ayano was thought to have kidnapped Linfa, but Shuu immediately came with a helicopter to pick up Ayano. Not only that, Linfa had already provided information on the whereabouts of the mine, so Shuu and Ayano immediately headed there with a helicopter. On the other hand, Kisara and Sharon have arrived at the mine, but Sharon even intends to kill Kanna because he is a dangerous demon. At the same time, Kisara tries to protect Kanna as a member of the Shuu family. On the other hand, Mikhail, who was already annoyed, launched a satellite attack on the place. But Asmodeus, who was in Kanna's body, got up to stop the attack. In the end, Kisara and Sharon fought Asmodeus there, while Shuu, who had arrived, immediately helped him and shot Asmodeus. However, the appearance of Kanna stabbed Kaisara from behind. After the place disappeared, Ayano and Sharon immediately left Kisara alone. When Kanna's weapon pierces Kaisara's body, it turns out that Kanna can see all of Shu's memories filled with intimate relationships with 3 women. Seeing all that made Kanna broken, and she wanted revenge on the 3 women. Then, seeing the situation was an emergency, Mikhail immediately launched a satellite attack up to 2 times, so Kanna sank to the bottom of the sea. At the same time, Kisara, who was seriously injured, was immediately taken to a safe place. However, Kaisara had passed out completely without any sign of life. Then Sharon explained the situation where Kanna was branded as a level S demon. If Kaisara can't fight Kanna, they will all lose hope and prepare to accept slaughter. Then at night, Kisara was aware. Shuu wanted to sacrifice everything, including his memory, to strengthen Kisara. However, Kisara didn't want Shuu to be damaged, so Kisara returned all the memories taken to Shuu. Instead, Kisara forgot all about Shuu. On the other hand, Kanna woke up when the sun rose, causing panic throughout the city. Then, Mikhail had prepared a battle area and kept the locals away from that place. Meanwhile, Shuu knew the truth all along. Even before, Kisara only kept Shu's memories and chose to sacrifice her memories to become a demonic force. After that, Shuu wanted Kaisara to stay there safely while Shuu himself would jump into battle. Previously, Shuu ordered weapons through Baryon City Express delivery. On the other hand, Ayano and the other troops began to attack. Kanna, who saw Ayano's presence, immediately chased him. When that attack almost kills Ayano, Shuu saves her and takes her to safety. Then Shuu and Sharon explained everything. It turned out that Kanna was targeting the insects that took her brother. Kanna liked his brother, so he was so jealous when he saw his brother having an intimate relationship with Sharon, Ayano, and Kisara, after seeing his brother always with other women for 12 years. So that makes Kaisara is broken.
堕落な兄の女遍歴をずっと見せつけられて心が歪んだ子供だ。
この3番目の虫目。
Then they together against Kanna, and Shuu fought with Kaisara weapons. However, seeing Kanna's tears made Shuu hesitate to attack Kanna. In the end, Shuu was seriously injured from the attack. Then Kisara came to help them, so they gathered to fight Kanna. Of course, Kanna was beaten up by them there, so he was overwhelmed and released 3 high-level demons. But the organization has prepared to face the demon, so that Shuu and Kisara can calm down against Kanna. Before that, Shuu kisses her so Kisara gets the demon power to fight Kanna. Then Shuu waited for the right moment to open fire. Even though Asmodeus got out of Kanna's body, he was completely chopped up by Kaizera. After his demon horns were broken, Kanna regained consciousness with Shuu beside him. A few days later, the city was in a state of recovery, and then Kanna was detained under the city because he was still considered a threat. On the other hand, Sharon said farewell to Ayano because Sharon was asked to return to his place. And after that, Shuu returns home with Kisara and does a kiss, but there is also Kanna, who escaped from jail. And that's the end of the video, so I'll see you in the next video.